Is IGN a bought and paid for corporate shill, or are they ridiculously out of touch and completely suck at their job? I'm about to take you on a journey that just went down with their review of Arc Raiders versus their review of Marathon, and why so many people are saying that they were paid for by Bungie to create this hit piece. First order of business, let's take a look at the review video, and we'll start with the title. All right, as we take a look at the IGN YouTube, I give you Exhibit A, the thumbnail. It merely says the first preview, and the title of the video is Arc Raiders is the most it's fine game we've played in a while. Let's watch the first few minutes.
Arc Raiders is blisteringly, aggressively archetypical, the extractionist extraction shooter that ever extracted. It's one of the least surprising games I've ever played, holding so much in common with its inspirations they're almost comically indistinguishable.
Wow, what a glaring review. The most extractionist extraction shooter that ever extracted? I mean, okay, so first of all, that opening line sets the tone for what the vibe is of this 6-minute and 32-second review. Like, the dude is saying the game is more milquetoast of any extraction shooter could be milquetoast, and that it's somewhat of like a carbon copy of it's like founding fathers in the genre, maybe, kind of like that's where I think he was going with that. But then he said this.
This is a game so unabashedly tied to its progenitors that the hero's default melee weapon is a pickaxe, the same weapon Fortnite metaverse heroes dropping off of battle buses lug into combat. That's a cute enough homage.
Listen. If you didn't understand what the words meant when he said unabashedly tied to its progenitors, don't worry. I didn't really understand it either. And I had to freaking, I know what those words mean. I had to go to the internet and be like, what is this dude? First of all, how superfluously wordy is this? I mean, is this like a college dissertation? Who is this written for? Number one. Number two, let's take a look at exactly what that phrase meant. When he says unabashedly tied to its progenitors, he's suggesting that something is openly or unapologetically maintaining a very strong connection to its origins or something that came before it, its forefathers, its creators, etc. But then goes on to make an analogy about the pickaxe or the default weapon that you get as an Arc Raider, analogous to the pickaxe in Fortnite. And I just was like, did you play the game, dude? It seems like there's no connection there. Like, are you suggesting that Fortnite is a forefather of Arc Raiders because they both have something, they have like a pickaxe in the game, which in Arc Raiders functionally operates extremely different than in Fortnite. And he goes on to make other analogies to Fortnite, like as if this is a battle royale like Fortnite and they copied Fortnite because you can have a team of 3 and you drop into somewhat of an open world-ish type map with other teams of 3. And it's like, so that makes it a battle royale and they copied it from Fortnite. Like later he says something about the maps and how it is basically like a recoded Fortnite map with, I don't know, DayZ vibes or something like that. It's like, bro, where are you? What? It just doesn't even make sense. First and foremost, if the game was played by whomever put this video together, it was as minimally as possible, because he goes on to say this.
The most lucrative resource hubs are clearly marked, and players flock to the richest areas looking for food, or hover between the treasures and the extraction areas, waiting to dispossess the luckiest foragers of their well-won games.
Okay, so they flock to the richest areas looking for food. Okay, listen, I was gonna try to give him the benefit of the doubt here. What it makes it sound like, the way he said that makes it sound like you need food for sustenance. You need food maybe for energy or stamina or something like that. Like he almost made it sound like, to me, that looking for food is somewhat part of the game. Like that was that was a big part of that statement. And all right, so the benefit of the doubt I was trying to give him is that there is something in the game where you have a rooster in the central hub called Speranza, and you take the rooster out with you, and you don't touch it, you don't have to mess with it or anything like that. But what the rooster does, it just collects little bits and pieces for you to later use in crafting, like nuts and bolts and little things. So it's just a fun way that when you get back, it's auto collecting for you. And so when you get back and you make an evac, the rooster's there with some items that you can then use to craft, right? And you can upgrade the rooster so it can get more and better items. And you do need to look in one of the quests, or like, let's say this is a side quest. If I want to upgrade my rooster, I do need to get some food items, like a plum and so on and so forth, later down the road. And so I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe this is why you were looking for food, although he said, you know, you flock to the high risk areas for the high reward, and this is where you would find the food. And so I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but then he goes on to say this.
There's also some part of crafting that involves a live rooster. I never figured that part out.
There's also some part of crafting that involves a live rooster, ... I never figured that out. So, okay, so you don't know that you needed to get some fruit to level up your rooster, which is actually level 2 of the rooster. The first thing you get for the rooster is like a dog collar and a torn blanket or something. So like, you didn't even get that far. So bro, earlier when you like drive to the highly risk looted areas to find food, what were you talking about? Like, if you're watching this, can you maybe comment? Like, I don't know, do you want to DM me, bro? Like, I'm curious. I'm curious where you were going with that, all right? So there are more and more examples that I could go through, but I think that's enough for now. Let's talk about how this was presented, right? So by that I mean, like the way that they captured the game footage is abysmal. I mean, this thing looks like, I don't know if they modded a Super Nintendo, an SNES to somehow play Arc Raiders, and that is how they did that's how they captured the footage for this video. But come on, and listen. Don't take it from me, right? It's just a little sus. It just seems a little sus that they would turn all of the visual fidelity on low. They would film it in 30 FPS and with a crazy bad kilobyte rate. I don't know why they would do that, being a professional video game journalism company. Now, I'm going to tell you, like I said, I did play this game, and I have an average PC. I've got an Intel i7 with an NTX 4070, just a basic standard, and I turned all of the fidelity was at epic, and it ran great for me. So, like, why did you do that? It seems a little suspect. Now, here's the thing, and here's going to be the fun part. Let's go take a look at some of the comments in this video before we put Marathon up to the test compared to like what they said for Arc Raiders now, because this is where I think it gets pretty funny. Okay, so one of the comments here says, just say you don't like extraction shooters. Why did you record this at 3000 kilobytes bit rate with choppy frames? And this is one of my favorites. This is low quality content that's frankly highly unprofessional coming from a gaming journalism site. It's disrespectful to the developers to portray their game as such a low frame rate and graphical settings, knowing just how well the game actually performs. The criticisms are nitpicks and childish complaints. This is not a review. This is a hit piece. Whoever made this should be fired, and this garbage should be replaced with a proper review by someone who can actually do their job. Another one reads, why did you run this game at the lowest possible settings? Did you do that with Marathon? This seems like a hit piece to support Marathon and Bungie. It contradicts everything I'm seeing people say, which I absolutely agree with, and the reason why I'm making this video. And last, but certainly not least, fun fact, the gameplay in this video was recorded on a potato. That might just be my personal favorite and why I included it. All right. So now let's go take a look at the Marathon review. All right, Your Honor, on the IGN YouTube site, I present you Exhibit B, the thumbnail for Marathon, the review that IGN provided. And it says on the thumbnail, Bungie's Fortnite moment? ? Like, are you kidding me? Are you trying to compare what you played with in this test, your first hands-on review, to the success of Fortnite? Like, I feel like that's the presupposition here, of course. And the title is just simply Marathon, the first hands-on review. Now, let's watch the first few seconds of this video.
If Escape from Tarkov is the PUBG of the extraction shooter, boldly striking out into a new genre despite humble origins, then Bungie's upcoming shooter Marathon is the big budget refinement that could become the emerging category's Fortnite.
Okay, they literally said it. Like, that is glazing upon glazing. That is Super Shredder glazing, like Teenage Mutant Ninja 2 Secret of the Ooze type glazing. Like, again, vastly different than the Arc Raiders intro, and definitely sets the tone for the rest of the video. Now, here's the thing. Why does that matter, right? Actually, as we look at what the entire internet is saying about both Marathon and Arc Raiders, it's poignant. It's relevant to the intro of this video, because it's like, maybe Marathon is actually good, and maybe Arc Raiders actually is kind of blah. But that would be so contrary to what the internet ether is saying. So anyways, that's the tone for this. But then he said this.
Even so, after spending the better part of 2 days sliding and gunning my way through Tau Ceti's relentless ruins, I was hooked and can't wait to group up with my most try-hard friends and ruin people's day.
Oh man, after just playing this game and having the time of my life, I am absolutely hooked and cannot wait for this game to drop. Said one person on the entire internet. Like, bro, it's one or the other. You are either so out of freaking touch and delusional that you should not be making game review videos anymore, or you are literally bought and paid for by Bungie to do this. And at that point, you have it's just disingenuous and there's no integrity here, and you should also get out of the game. Hang it up, bro. Like, just stick to movie trailers. Like, are you the CNN and Fox News of the gaming world now? I dare you, double dog dare you, to go on the internet and try to find a video that says Arc Raiders sucks. Because you're not gonna find it. At the worst, you're gonna find somebody who is saying how much they enjoyed their experience, and that maybe when the game comes out, they might do this, or I hope they add that. Like, little things that are like, this game overall was a great experience, and this could be kind of cool, maybe. Like, that might be the worst criticism you will find. You're not gonna find a video that's like, that just over and unabashedly, says the game is trash. This is not gonna happen. And subsequent or juxtaposer on the other side of that coin, I challenge you to find a video. It's gonna be way harder to find a video on the internet that says, like, hands down, without a doubt, Marathon is a banger, home run, Bungie, thank you, come again, because that is not the case. Even the creators who were invited out there to the studios to play the game before they did their test, which was first a closed test, then they made it an open test, because all those people who got the first look were like, I'm gonna be honest, they invited me out there, but the game is mid. I didn't play Marathon, so I'm not saying from my experience like the game is good or it's bad. I'm just telling you what everybody and their mama is telling you and me. The game, the consensus, the general consensus, the tide of the internet essentially is saying that the game is meh. There's a lot of headlines that they're not happy with the game, which is completely opposite of what IGN has to say here. And then if you go on the internet, the same people and all kinds of folks are like singing the praises of Embark and Arc Raiders. But don't take it from me. Take a look at some of these top creators and listen to what they have to say.
Marathon might have been taking all of the headlines recently, but this new sci-fi extraction shooter, which is essentially the exact same category as Marathon, might be better in every single way. Beautiful, releasing on consoles. What is it? This is Arc Raiders.
The trailers I've seen for Arc Raiders seem to present a lot more content and dynamism and dynamics than I've seen for like Marathon.
From the buttons you press to the background music that plays while you sort your inventory, it's a 10 out of 10 vibe. Overall, guys, I think Arc Raiders presents something interesting, unique. And even for my folks that aren't that crazy about extraction shooters, I think my PvE players might even find this game interesting, just for its AI combats. Luke, who primarily just plays PvE inside of Destiny, absolutely fell in love with this game this past week and pretty much played Arc Raiders every day over Marathon.
I don't know. I'm hard addicted. I genuinely think this is going to be the best game of the year.
Okay, you're jumping.
I genuinely. Damn. Because it's only going to get better. It's not going to get worse.
We know that the game of the year is definitely Escape from Tarkov.
It's good. It's a good one. You're a funny guy.
All right. Enough of that. Now, of course, if you were to just go to YouTube yourself and Google, Google and just, type in Arc Raiders review or Marathon review, you're going to find all this and much, much more backing up these two cases. So at the end of the day, you can make your own determination, your own judgment on what's happening here. But it's honestly, to me, it's one or the other. Either IGN, you freaking suck. You are terrible at your gig, or you're just another bought and paid for corporatized company bending the knee to the AAA studios that are frankly, they're done. I think they're washed up. I think the indies and the smaller gaming studios, they're crushing it. They're making games for gamers. Arc Raiders is one of those. But again, don't take my word for it. Surely there's going to be another tech test. If not, the game is going to launch. But if there is, look for that, sign up for that, and play the game for yourself. Make your own determination. Or you can take my direct word for it and watch my review of Arc Raiders, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think you will too.